I sat there with my mouth open. Why, you ask? My wife, Jane, had just asked me if I could be a cuckold for a week. My name is Mike, by the way, and I already knew the answer, but I hope Jane really wasn't stupid enough to ask me. I wanted to answer calmly, but first, I needed to catch my breath. You see, I've been in the past. I know I am, and I wear that title with honor. It all started about a week ago when we were at a barbecue at my sister's house. There were 15 couples there, and the wine and beer flowed freely, good friends, good food, and a great time. And then someone yelled out, "Let's play truth or dare." Our host, my sister Barbara, started the game by asking her husband, Tim, to do a task. She asked him to massage Karen's feet. Karen's husband, Jeff, only laughed and told him to wash his hands afterward, as her feet were very hard and sore. While Tim was rubbing them, Barbara asked Karen how the cuckolding was going. Several husbands, including me, looked like someone had spit in our beer. Jeff then further confused my thoughts with his answer. He said, without any bitterness, "Karen already has 3 lovers, and she's looking for more." As a human being, I wanted to smack Jeff upside the head and say, "What the hell is wrong with you?" But I was a guest, and the sight of my wife could melt the ice in Alaska, so I said nothing and got another beer. Damn, where's Captain Morgan when you need him so badly? Damn, I thought, listening to this is going to be hard. Like I said, I'm in, but I sat there like a good hubby and said nothing. After about 10 minutes, I got up and headed for the bathroom. There, I stayed for about 20 minutes talking to myself. I had to talk quietly because if I talked louder, people would think I was crazy. When I calmed down a little, I opened the bathroom door, and there stood Barbara with her hands on her hips, looking at me like I had ruined her barbecue. I asked, "What's the matter, sis?" Barbara, in her usual get-on-my-nerves manner, replied, "How the hell can you be so mean?" Mean? What the hell are you talking about? I didn't do or say anything. I promised Jane that I would be a good boy, and I was. Barbara then proceeded to tell me that Jeff is showing his love for Karen by allowing her to do this. When Karen was done exploring, she explained Karen and Jeff would become a stronger couple. I just had to ask, how can intimate contact with other men make a couple stronger? Barbara was discouraged by the way I said it. I guess since I'm older, I should understand what women want. Hell, I didn't even know what my damn wife wanted. And after all, I'd been married to her for 11 years. "Mike, you need to open your mind to new things," Barbara said. Again, I had to ask, has Tim opened his mind to Karen and Jeff's new idea of marriage yet? Barbara then went on to tell me what is expected of a cuckold husband. She spoke with such passion that I had to repeat my question. I asked again, "Is your husband Tim ready for this?" I haven't asked him yet. I wanted Jeff to tell his husband first. For the first time in my life, I felt like slapping my sister. "Barbara, you must be out of your mind. If you ask Tim and he agrees, I'll watch the kids while you go manhunting. I'll even wash your car, but I'll never leave you alone with my wife again." With those words, I turned and headed back to the barbecue. Jeff was talking to Karen, Jane, and several other wives. The guys were standing at the grill, waiting for me to return. Tim was the first to ask what I thought about all this. I replied, "Tim, if Jane tries that crap, I'm out the door. I will not tolerate that. And if I find out she has cheated, is cheating or plans to cheat, I will divorce her. I don't care or am even interested in what Jeff is thinking. It's his life. If he wants to make love or whatever, that's his choice, but it's not for me." After my brief outburst, Jane came over and said it was time to leave. We said goodnight to everyone and headed out. We live about 45 minutes away from my sister, so I had a long drive ahead of me. Jane immediately said, "You shouldn't judge a lifestyle until you've tried it." At that point, I had to ask myself if I wanted to start struggling now or after I tried it. Like I said, I'm in, so I decided to shut up until I got some love. All the way home, Jane was talking about Jeff this and Jeff that. I wanted to tell her, if you keep talking about Jeff, you might as well marry him, but only after I'd been good. As we pulled up to the house, Jane started rubbing my leg. "Oh yeah, this is going to be intimate." Needless to say, it was a great night. Then she pulled out the big guns. Jane slept with me for 7 days straight, at least twice a day. Mike, can I talk to you so you don't get mad? I replied, honey, after the week you gave me, we can talk about anything, and I'll even listen to you. She looked a little concerned but started with the usual nonsense. Mike, you know I love you, don't you? I love you more and more every day, but I think we need to diversify our sex life. And then the little delusion meter in my head turned on. Mike, don't say anything until I'm done, Jane said. You never let me have my say before you say no. I said, honey, you're right. I'll let you finish and then I'll say no. Then Jane started talking about how if I loved her, if I really loved her, I would be a cuckold for a week. She said this and looked at me with big puppy dog eyes, saga lips, and a sad little girl's expression. It just broke my heart. No, I said. Jane, I really love you and I would do anything for you. I want to make you happy. I live to be with you, grow old with you, and have children with you. And the only thing I could say to that was, no, you bastard. If you ever ask me like that again, I'm gonna burn the house down and move to Canada. If you want a cuckold, buy a bird. With those words, I stood up and walked outside. I walked into Angel's, my favorite sports bar. The bartender's name is Kevin, and he knows how to make a damn good Long Island iced tea. Kevin, my boy, make me a tab. I want a beer, a Long Island, and I don't want them to run out. As I sat there, reveling in my pain, guess who walked in? Jeff, followed by Tim. They sat down on stools on either side of me and looked at me like I just let off gas or something. Mike, Jeff said, what the hell is going on with you? You almost ruined the barbecue. We've been planning this for weeks. I must have looked confused because Tim just patted me on the back and said, just sit back and listen, Mike. Tim and I filmed Karen with all 3 guys. Jeff continued. I played along so she wouldn't have to pay so much in the divorce. My lawyer said, play along, and you'll get all the proof you need. You see, in Texas, it still matters whether a spouse cheated or not. Karen doesn't know that I found out. She and her lover were going to try to get me into a threesome, then it would look like I agreed to it. No way. Instead, she's being serviced right now. She can have the house, the car, the checking accounts, and everything else. I just had to ask, why give that anything? She slept behind your back and in front of you. Why pay that cheating? Since I asked, Jeff replied with a wicked grin on his face. There are 2nd and 3rd mortgages on the house, and the bank is about to foreclose on it. The car is leased, and I haven't paid a single bill in 7 months. My paycheck is deposited into my mom's account. As far as my employer knows, I take care of my mom. Mom puts the money in her offshore account. You know, my mom always said Karen was stupid. I should have listened to her. The beer flowed again, and I had to take a cab home. I think I got home around 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know exactly, but it didn't matter because I only got as far as the flower bed. Jane heard some noises, came to see what was the matter, and found me asleep in my roses. It was another 30 minutes later when I came back to the world of the living. The next moment, a bucket of water was poured on me, and my dog began to lick my face. What an evil woman, I muttered. She had doused my favorite chair. I asked her, who stuck a stick up your ass? Jane looked at me and asked, Mike, did you know? Did I know what the hell you're talking about? Karen was served with divorce papers and an eviction notice last night, Jane said. I replied, good for her. Now she can sleep with whoever she wants. So you knew? Jane asked. Hell no. I didn't know until I ran into Jeff and Tim last night, I said. Now, what's that fool going to do? Jane just looked at me. I had seen that look before. Mike, she needs somewhere to stay for a week, Jane said. Please, please, Mike. She needs help. She's lost a lot. I said, okay, but I don't know how she and Spike are going to fit in that damn dog box. Mike, that's not funny. She needs our help, Jane said. I muttered under my breath. She needs a doctor to stitch up her legs. Eventually, I gave in and we let Karen use the spare room. At first, I asked Jeff if it was okay to do that. Jeff said he didn't care where she went. She only made it through the first week. One night, when Karen and Jane were sitting on the patio drinking wine, Karen asked Jane if she could sleep with me for one night because she needed sex. The next thing I heard was the clinking of breaking glass and screaming. Then Jane burst into the house, yelling, "Mike, get that idiot out of my house." She directed her anger at Karen. "I can't believe I let you stay here. Get your together and get the hell out. I mean now." Later that night, after some pretty good lovemaking, I discovered something very interesting. It seems that most women don't mind the idea of being shared with another man, but they don't really like sharing their men. That's right.